Hey guys, this is Ed from Spec Garage. Figured I'd drop a video here, and what we're going to be talking about is tuning and tuning software and what you would need to do if you decide you wanted to tune, depending on what tuner you want to go with. So with that being said, I did get a new vlog thing here. The other one broke. This one looks a little bit better, so we'll do this here, and yeah. Hopefully this thing works. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this thing. This thing should be working a lot better than what it is, but anyways, I'm just gonna leave that alone for now because I gotta figure this out. I'm gonna put this over there. Toss that over there. Alright, so when you're doing tuning, I'm gonna flop this around here. When you're doing tuning, you're definitely gonna obviously want a computer. You're also going to want a handheld. This is through BNR Tuning for my car. But this would be comparable with like Efi Live or like an older school HP tuners, I guess. With that being said, you have your computer CAN connection to 2.0 drive here that you just plug right in, and then you have your OBD2 hookup. And obviously these look like an Ethernet connection type deal, but that's just how it is. So without further ado, let me get the screen here. There we go. So right now, so with this being said, I have Efi Live. It's the same thing with HP tuners. It's just basically Efi Live is where you go to efilive.com and you go onto their website, and then you download. Give me one sec here while I bring this down. I don't know why it's got to do this. There we go. Okay. This thing's stupid. Yeah, as you can see, like, I was just messing with that. But basically, you would go onto your internet website, and then you'll go to efilive.com. I don't know how long this will take. Computer's a little sluggish with Google. Hopefully, I can get it up and I can show you guys. So, if you are looking for a tuner, you want to tune yourself, HP tuners HP tuners would be the best thing. When you do HP tuners, more than likely it should be Efi Live. I believe when they do that. So with that being said, I'm not really too familiar with HP tuners. I mean, I have Efi Live, obviously, but I've heard that Efi Live is like integrated with HP tuners. But for my application here, through BNR Tuning, they mostly do Chevy stuff. They obviously this is the version 2 Cal Pack here. But let me go to efilive.com so I can show you. .efilive.com. So hopefully it goes. Computer's a little sluggish today. There it is. Alright, so when you're doing this, you would go. So what you can do to download everything, obviously your VIN license. So I have the AutoCal V2. That costs $125 for the VIN license. That's just how it is. Because if you have a Chevy, I have a Chevy. Depending on what I have a Sonic. So it takes two credits. Basically HP tuner credits. And everything's pretty much integrated here. But mine is a V2 AutoCal. That's what it is. But Basically, you can actually buy the products from the website if you want to. I just did an update. So what you would do is you would go to downloads, and then you would go to download Efi Live. You click on it for downloading Efi Live. Now this is very important. You can download the V8 version, or you can download the 7.5. The V8 is the newer school version, so it's pretty much got everything that you would ever need. The download 7.5 is for more, I want to say, like older cars that have an older style computer. That's what you would use. If you have the flash scan version 1, you would download. It has instructions on here. But if you have, since I have the AutoCal V2, you download the V8 software. You only really do, if you have the flash scan V2 or the flash scan HD, then you would download both. Or if you have the version 3, they have the new one, which is the the V8 8.3. The flash scan is obviously just 7.5. And then it kind of goes in there, and this is what I just updated. And this is what basically what got downloaded. I was on my programming, and this is what popped up. And because you have to always keep up on updates for your tuner pack. It doesn't matter what it is, you just have to keep up on it, or if you let it go too far behind in updates, you won't be able to update, and you won't be able to reflash your computer, or if you have to do an update to the computer on your ECU, it's like improbable. So you always have to keep up on it. You can also do additional downloads, and I have done additional downloads. So you can do the Efi Live V4 Professional. That's kind of outdated. It was updated 2006. This is basically like for like out of date like hardware that you have. So you have the Efi Live version 4 Professional, and you have the Roadrunner if you have Roadrunner. You would obviously have to download these. But so that's the EFILive.com. Now we're going to get into the two programs after you download. So you have Efi Live Explorer, and what this does is you have your tunes, your tune files. So when you do decide to tune, or you have if you have in like an email tuner, if you send in your data read packages and you send in for somebody who knows what they're doing, then they would send you a tune file. You would download it from your email, and then you would save it to your computer. So these are all the tunes that I've done so far, going right up here, and then I have a transmission control module tunes here too. So so when you're doing this, what I like to do, just to keep everything simple, is I have a calibration tune file. So I decided to start playing around and doing my own tunes. All I did was I just unlocked it. Then you have your data log files. So your data log files is what you would go into here. Get this there. So you would go into here, and you would go to record data. So when you hit record data, then it'll automatically come up with your ECU name. So it could be like an E78. That's my ECU name. It could be any kind of like GM type file. So like usually like I have, for my transmission control module, it's a T76. My ECU's a E78. That's what's for my car. You would have to you could either look on your ECU surface to figure out what kind of ECU you got. But usually you can just pull it from here, and then it'll show up in the once you give the VIN to your tuner, or if you upload the diagnostic tune, it'll actually automatically come up from the AutoCal or whatever tuner that you have, and it'll actually show what it is. So that's how you would record the diagnostics or record data, and then you would save the data log files onto your computer. This is important too. This is how you would send your what's on your computer right now. So your computer goes through a driving cycle, and what it does is it stores. This reads it. So this is for my ECU, and then that's for the transmission. So what this is it's a read file. So what it does is it takes the driving cycle, and then you download it into here. It basically copies it, downloads it in here, and then you would download it into the computer, and then you would send it to your tuner. And then you have delete scan files. So like if you're checking for check engine lights or anything like that, this is where you would go for that. Or if you wanted to delete the read files, you would go from there. And then obviously serial number, license number, firmware, that's just been updated. And the boot block has been updated too. But and then that's display data. So what that does is it actually shows your data stream in real time, and it actually shows it. Record data is, I've kind of experimented with that a little bit. It's a little tricky to deal with. The record data is basically your live data, and it shows it. You can download it into the computer. The select PIDs is your individual. So if you want to look at your fuel injectors, or if you want to look at the bank 102 sensor, or if you want to look at your throttle position, that's an individual PID. And then this is to clear out your check engine light codes, record your diagnostics. If you're doing a diagnostic run, that helps record it. This displays your check engine light trouble codes, and that's about it for that. So we'll move on to here. Now, tuning. What tuning essentially does is it alters your fuel maps and your spark ignition maps, and if you can on your engine, it adjusts your timing. So we'll kind of get into that a little bit, and I'll show you. But basically, I have two up here. I had a trouble code. It was a P0420. It was one of those stupid ghost codes that I hate, but that's just how it is. I do have my latest one here. That was the second run. That was the best run that I did have. So we're gonna click on that. So this one would actually be. Let me. I'm gonna show you here because it's a lot easier showing it to you. So we're gonna open these up, so then you guys can see. Give me one sec here while this thing fires up. Oh, there it is. So these are your calibration files. If you decide to do that, that would be on the tune side of Efi Live Tune Scan and Tune. Now the big ones is the data log files. So I'll show you guys that one too. Okay, so these are all your data log files. This is what you would take from your car you're reading your ECU on your car, and then this is how you would do it. You would download it into your computer, and then you would have it here basically for your data log runs, so then you can check what's what, see how your car is running. Big important one is always when you're doing tuning, always have as a backup your stock tune files. So you want your OEM tune files. You always want that, so that way if you have to revert everything, you can take it back to stock immediately. And then This is your tune files. This is what you would get from your tuner through email. And then all you do is you copy it and then you send it. Just, make your own folders and stuff like that. And then this is your tune read files. This is what you actually get when you pull up, you copy what the tune read file is, the current tune read file that you had flashed onto your ECU or your transmission control module. This is where you would leave that. And then, okay, so this is where you would do the majority of when you're picking and pulling. You wouldn't use the tune and scan section for the V8 EFI Live. You would use the Explorer. So the Explorer is what goes through your computer system here. So I have it in the tune section here, the Sonic Tune files. This is what you would do, and all you have to do is you pull it, and then you click it down there, and then it shows it. I'll show you. So it's basically like a drop and drag type deal. So now it's in the tune section, in the read. So if you have your scan, all you do is you click on the scan, you'd right click on here, you copy it, and then you would go into your data log files. And then all you do from here is you right click, and then you would just drop and drag and throw it in here. That's the easiest, fastest way. Now, you can look at the free space. Obviously, it took up a little bit of space because it showed up in there. So you would just take this, right click it. If you want to delete it, it deletes it. You just hit yes, because the original is still in there, so it's gone. And then you have your stock tune files. That's where you would just drop and drag and put it in. You always want to put it into the tune section. That's the best place to put it. Paste it. But yeah, you don't have to do that. But let's say you want to put the stock ECU file. Put it in there, and it takes forever to upload because it's basically like 2.7 megabytes worth of information, because that's now when you're doing the modified, you have the tune that gets sent to you. It's usually like 200 kilobytes, so it's not much. All that is basically just taking the altered version of the stock tune file, altered version of the altered version, and then it gets sent to you. But this takes usually a while because it's such a large. It takes up pretty much the majority of the space in your tuner, because now all the information's going there. But basically, that's about it for your Explorer. And then this is what you would do for EFI Live. You would check for updates, and you check for the firmware. And then you can also go to the control panel and then your Explorer from here. Now this one, you can go into the tune section, but it won't let me. Go here for devices. It actually shows you what's what. AutoCal version 2. I don't know why it's on 3. But yeah, this is that. Display. You can do that. You can choose metric, or you can go custom, which is miles per hour. Keypad options. This is your logging. Okay, so you can do the COM port. You can do like a wideband O2 sensor, external data logger, wideband, and then this is where you have for your wideband the innovative AEM. You have all these. So if you don't have a wideband sensor, all you do is external data logger. There we go. And then all you do is you just save it. And then it tells you to save custom V2. and you save it. There we go. And then if you go into here, yep, and so it's on custom now, so that's cool. You can go to your licenses from here. It actually shows you what's in here. You can do a lot of stuff. Scans. I don't think it's going to show anything. So this is what you would do for the scan section here. These are all your PIDs. So if you look here, it actually has pretty much everything. But this would be for your maps here. I have it on the AFR and injector duty cycle. It's easier to watch. You have your gauge system set up. Charts, data. That's pretty important. So we're going to back out of there and I'm going to show you. So we're going to go to the second run. And it's going to update. While that's updating, I'm going to get rid of this because I don't need that. Takes up too much space. I don't need that. Go away. There it is. Alright, so this is pretty important here. So you have your maps. So this is my AFR ratios right now. So this is my custom AFR ratio here. So going from here, you have my AFR ratio starting at idle, which is 14:1, and then basically the way that I did it here, easiest way to do it, I have 15:1. That's the way it runs best, all the way up to 2600 RPM, and it starts dropping a little bit. So I will show you that. But what happens is I wanted to decrease the AFR as the RPMs rose up. So it's at between 3200 to I want to say 4400. So a good range. 3400 like up to 4400. It's all 13:1, and then after 4800, I haven't maxed out like at 5600, and it goes 12. Like it's like 12ish to ones. But the max AFR that I have past 4800 to 5600 is gonna be 12:2:1. And I will show you guys data charts. But as you can see now, you can do it in real time, or you can do, just gonna do that right there. So my fuel injectors duty cycle, because I got decent sized fuel injectors in there, it's only 58 max. But if you look right here, other than that, I mean, it's just I just wanted to give you an example here, but that's like the max that I had. I do have on the tuning a torque reduction setup, so that way I'm not blowing the crap up out of my transmission. But I mean, you would look at that too, and then you have your data here. This goes through all your PIDs here. So you have your injector duty cycle, but maximum I have at 54.9. Average is like 7.4 because I was kind of putting around a lot. But other than that, yeah, I mean, this is basically what the tuning program and files are right here. And if you wanted to tune, you can. You just hit open, and then you would go to, if I can find it. I'll do that in another video. But see you later.